Serious, what are some women's issues that are overlooked? Hysterectomies. I am 24 and have reoccurring fibroid tumors and have since I was a teenager. It's not typical for someone my age to have multiple and large fibroids. My largest one was 11 centimeters. They are painful and I'm about to have my second surgery to remove them. I don't want to keep doing this over and over and would like to have a hysterectomy, yet my surgeon refuses, because I'm young and might want children. If I get pregnant, I have a high risk of miscarriage. It will eat me alive if that happens to me. Pelvic floor physical therapy. It's life-changing, and many women don't know their physical issues can be easily addressed. Yes. Also, incontinence is never normal. It's always a medical issue worthy of treatment. That sometimes you really do need that hysterectomy the doctors are refusing to give you, because they want to make sure you don't want to have more children. Same goes for getting a tubal done. Endometriosis. One day, you'll wake up and find a little bit of blood in your underpants. And that is the day you become a woman. Yeah, no. I woke up to a scene from Godfather. Man, I got mine before I was going to bed and had a panic attack thinking I was about to die crying in the bathroom. Aussie Shrek's education is non-existent. When I started bleeding at 11, I thought it was because I was fapping and it had made me ill. Overheard the usual "don't do that, it'll make you go blind," which was said to my brother. Because no one wants to acknowledge that young girls also go through Shreksual development, and assumed I was now dying because of it. Didn't tell anyone, because I was ashamed they'd know what I'd been doing. So I started throwing away my bloody knickers. My mum found them in the bin and asked why I was doing that, told her I was bleeding, she explained what a period was, etc. It's fricked up to me that periods aren't explained to girls. Why are we so scared of girls coming of age? Why are we pretending it doesn't happen? Can we just teach girls about their bodies? Oral contraceptive birth control pills can cause depression and very often do. PMS and PMDD aren't taken seriously enough. The depression and anxiety of PMDD are debilitating. Oral contraceptive birth control pills can cause depression and very often do. I really wish this were discussed more. I struggled with depression and anxiety for years throughout my early 20s. I stopped taking birth control and it just vanished. I almost couldn't believe the difference it made. Even my colleagues noticed how much my demeanor had improved. A lot of my friends have stopped taking it too with similar experiences. None of us feel the need to go back. Additionally, my friend struggled with migraines for years and no doctor ever suggested that BC could be the cause. But she hasn't had one since she stopped taking them years ago. I don't know why nobody ever suggested it. I know the pill has been incredibly useful for women to have better control over their bodies and can be very helpful to some. I just wish they had talked through it more when prescribing. The only thing I was worried about was that I'd gain weight on them. In my country it's after birth care for mothers. Mental health system is fricked. Women are told the pain they are feeling is normal only to find out they need a stoma bag a month down the track. Some women have died after not being checked over properly before leaving the hospital. PCOS. 10% of women have this, including me, which leads to diabetes, infertility, and many other problems. The biggest issue with PCOS for me, aside from previously being anovulatory, was that I went 29 years undiagnosed, because I'm nearly 5 feet 9 and 110 pounds. I didn't fit the type for so many OB-GYNs. The education gap in phenotypes of the syndrome is unreal, and it's because education in female-only issues isn't a priority. The lack of research is incredibly depressing. Doc, lose weight and the symptoms will disappear. Me. Loses 90 pounds. Still have a beard and wonky periods. Doc, Pikachu JPG. How bad some of the negative effects hormonal birth control can be. I was losing my mind, but my doctor brushed it off saying I was just stressed. Got off it, and instantly felt so much better. I freaking hate hormonal birth control. I've tried almost every type and they all magically mess me up in different ways. It seems to either makes me so nauseated and wrecks my GI system, it completely kills my Shrek's drive, or it makes me suicidal. I really want my tubes tied, but I'm super scared of surgery. I wish there were more non-hormonal options or more options for men. Plus every time I complained about the side effects it was, oh, are you sure it's the BC? Most people handle it just fine, please shut up. The lack of actual education about your own body. Like I didn't even know I had 3 holes until I was 16 and I learned it from an episode of Big Mouth. What's saddies? It took until I scrolled 3/4 of the way down the page to find something that isn't health related. Then there was one that wasn't health related. Then it was all health related again. We really have a problem here. Getting off of any form of birth control is hard. This past week I had my normal yearly OBG checkup. I mentioned I wanted my IUD out. My normal doctor was out of the office, so I had to see someone else. She refused to take my IUD out because I wasn't married, and she insisted that my fiance wouldn't want the chance of us getting pregnant. I want you to document in the chart that I requested you remove my IUD and you refused. And then I want a copy of that chart, because I'll be calling a lawyer from your parking lot. That's illegal. I'm confused and interested in learning. I think it's just that the doctor's denying service because of their own beliefs or thoughts or whatever. I don't know, I'm not a doctor or a lawyer. There was a case in my county, Norway, a few years ago with a doctor who refused to insert IUDs because of her own beliefs. After numerous complaints from her patients, her medical license was revoked and she is not allowed to practice medicine in Norway anymore. Ever. You either treat all your patients, or none at all. Medical issues. It took me 3 ER visits and a walk-in doctor to diagnose a raging infection in my abdomen. I was told it's all in my head. By the time it got diagnosed, my bowel had almost perforated. I could have died if I was less tenacious. In my country, Bangladesh, women are blamed for everything wrong that happens. For example, if a girl marries a guy and after years the guy dies of a disease or something, people will say the girl ate the guy, meaning anyone who marries the girl will die. Another example is that when women are sexually assaulted, people say stuff like, why did the girl go in front of guys? Why did the girls go out at night? Why did the girl wear short dresses in front of guys? Stop, this is what Asian girls need to go through. I hope one day girl blaming will come to an end. Postpartum depression. It's so much more common than people think, but many mothers feel too guilty to reach out for help because they think everything is supposed to be amazing after getting the baby. Autism in women. Related. ADHD in women. Yep. Diagnosed at 36. Almost all the way through a very technical graduate degree. Had no idea all sorts of self-destructive habits I have. Overeating. Watching the same movie over and over and over again. Emotional instability. Dangerous thrill seeking. Were basically my brain desperately trying to get the dopamine it needs. I'm on Adderall XR now. It's like I felt when I first put glasses on. Oh, this is how other people experience consciousness. I'm a dude, and this will probably get buried, but I hate the fact that when I'm doing something with my longtime girlfriend, like buying a new car, renting a new app, taking a loan, etc., that people ignore my girlfriend and assume she is just not important. They just look at me and talk only to me. I have to make an effort to include her in something she should be in from the start. I feel so bad for her and try to amend it as much as I can, but there is not much you can do. We were at the car dealers the other day looking at the car and the dealer kept ignoring her and her wishes. He was only looking at me and assumed she doesn't know what she is talking about. We just left. Health in general. So many medications have only been tested on men, when women can react to things very differently. Prolapse. I was properly shocked when I learned about this surprisingly somewhat common side effect from childbirth. Edited to add. For those who don't know, cause I sure as hell didn't, some women will have their organs start falling out of their PPS following childbirth, especially older women and especially after multiple pregnancies without proper physio in between. But not always. Pregnancy consequences in general. Pregnancy is scary. I've decided not to have kids and some of it stems from absolute terror at all the stuff that can happen because of it. The extra time, energy, and money that must be spent to look professional. I sometimes try to throw my hands up and say frick it, let them think I'm ugly, and I stop plucking my eyebrows for a while, no makeup, etc. And I'm treated noticeably different. I had a co-worker who was mean to me, but only sometimes. Did a little experiment and found that the days he was nice just so happened to correspond to my eyeliner days. Not being able to get sterilized when you're 100,000,000% sure you don't want kids. PMS and cycle in general. 35-year-old woman. I don't want kids. I would like sterilization options. Doctor. What? You're too young to make that decision. 15-year-old. I'm pregnant because my idiot boyfriend didn't wear a condom. I'm keeping my baby. Doctor. Here is a literal grocery bag full of information on everything you'll need, as well as schedule doctor's visits. Literally. Nearly every safety invention is designed for the average man. Airbags, seat belts, dosages for drugs, safety bars on roller coasters, etc. Look, I know we can't all custom order cars with different size belts and bags, etc. But women can sustain serious injuries because safety features aren't meant for them.